everyone, how are you all? Are you all doing good? Lovely. So today what we are going to learn, before and after numbers. Alright. So but before we go ahead, let me first tell you, let's first do a quick recap on as to what is before and what is after. So let me see if you can all guess. Okay. So I am going to draw few shapes on the board. Okay, let me see if you know these shapes. Alright. And then, so now what shape is this? The shape is a square. And what is this shape? It's a triangle. And what is this? It's a circle. Alright. So now if I ask you, what shape comes before triangle? What do you see? Which shape do you see before a triangle? What would you say? You would select the shape square, because this comes before the shape triangle. Now if I ask you, what shape comes after the triangle? So you would be saying the shape circle comes next to triangle. Okay, so the shape that comes after triangle is circle. The same concept, it applies for numbers as well. Okay, so now let's see how it works for numbers. Alright, so for that we are going to write numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, so let's count it together and let's write it. Okay, I am going to write it vertically in a standing line format. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Alright, so can you see numbers from 0 to 9 here? Alright, so we are going to go ahead like this. So numbers always move ahead. Okay, always remember, after numbers are bigger numbers, before numbers are smaller numbers. Okay, so let's try writing one number here and let's try to guess what number comes before that number. Okay, so simple example, let's take number 1, 4, 14. Okay, so this is tens and this is in the ones place. Okay, so what number can you see in the ones place? It is 4. And what number can you see in the tens place? It is 1. Alright, so if I ask you, what number comes before 4? Okay, what number comes before 4? So let us check what number comes before. So remember, before numbers are smaller numbers. Okay, so before 4 I'll go behind. Okay, or always go behind. So now if I see, oh, the number that comes before 4 is 3. So I will be writing number 3 in the ones place. Okay, the number that comes before 4 is 3. Alright. So now what is in the tens place? So the number that is in the tens place is 1. So we are not going to change this number, but we are going to just write it as it is. Okay. So now what number is it? We are going to write the same number 1 more. So now if I ask you, what number comes before 1, 4, 14? What would you say? You would say, ma'am, the number comes before the number that comes before 1, 4, 14 is 1, 3, 13. Alright. So let's look into one more example here so that you understand the concept. Alright. So again I am going to write tens and ones, and again I am going to write tens and ones here, and I am going to choose this number, which is 2, 5, 25. Okay, so now what number can you see in the ones place? I can see the number 5 in the ones place. So now if I ask you, what number comes before 5? So let's go ahead and check here which number comes before 5. So we are going backward. Okay, smaller number. So yes, the number 4. So the number that comes before 5 is 4. So we are going to write number 4 in the ones place. We are replacing this 5 with 4 here. So instead of 5, we are going to write 4 because this number is smaller. We are going to write before number. And what about the number in the tens place? The number 2? We are going to write it as it is. We are not going to change this number. It's going to be the same, number 2. So if I ask you what number comes before 2, 5, 25? So you will say the number that comes before 25 is 2, 4, 24. Alright, got it? So now let's look into one more example. Okay. So again I am going to write tens and ones and then tens and ones. So now let's write the number 2, 0, 20. Okay, so the number is 2, 0, 20. Alright, so if I ask you what number comes before 2, 0, 20? So what would you do? First, the same concept. You are going to look into the number that is in the ones place. So the number is 0. Okay. So what number that comes before 0? So you have to check here. Okay. This is the only tricky part while doing before numbers. Okay. So what number you would be writing before 0? You would be choosing the number 9. So I know this is going to be a little confusing for you. But trust me, this is once you understand this, it's going to be very easy. Okay, so I'm going to write the number 9 here. Okay, and then what number is this? This is 2. So when a number that ends with 0, we are also going to change the number in the tens place, which is what number comes before 2? It is 1. So I'm going to write 1 here. So what number comes before 2, 0, 20? It is going to be 1, 9, 19. So this concept will apply only when a number ends with 0. Okay, let's try one more example. Okay, let's take the number maybe 4040. Okay. So now this number is 4040. Okay. So just as we discussed, the number in the ones place is 0. So what number we will write before 0? It is going to be 9. Alright? Okay. So here also in the tens place the number will change because the number is ending with 0. Otherwise we don't change the number in the tens place. Now what number comes before 4? We have already discussed the number that comes before 4 is 3. So I am going to write number 3 here. So what number comes before 4040? It is going to be 3939. Alright. So this logic will apply only for those numbers that end with 0. We will change this number in the ones place and we will also find the number that comes before the number in the tens place. Okay, we will be changing both these numbers. So now let's look into after number concept. Okay. Alright. I'm going to erase all these arrows so that you don't get confused. Okay. So again I'm going to write tens, ones, and then tens and ones. So after numbers are nothing but the numbers that come after. They are bigger numbers. Okay, as and when the number moves ahead, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so now let's write number 18, 1, 8, 18. Okay, so now let's find out what number do you find in the ones place. It is 8. So what number comes after 8? It is number, after 8 it is number 9. So I'm going to write 9 here. And are we going to change this number? No, we are not going to change this number. We are going to keep it as it is. So the number that comes after 1, 8, 18 is 1, 9, 19. Okay, so the number that comes after is always bigger, remember. And let's look into one more example. Let's take the number 2, 3, 23. Okay, so what number do you see in the ones place? I see the number 3. So now if I ask you, what number comes after 3? So let's find what number comes after 3. Oh, it is 4, because 4 is bigger than 3. It comes after 3. So I am going to write 4 in the ones place. Remember, whichever place you find the number, you will be writing the next number in the same place. Okay, we are not going to write 4 here. We are going to write 4 in the ones place only. And what number do you find in the tens place? It is 2. So we are not going to change this number 2, but instead we are going to write the number as it is. So it is 2, 4, 24. Now last example. So now let's write 2, 0. Okay, so what is this number? 2, 0, 20. So now what number comes after 2, 0, 20? So now let's find what is this number? 0. So now what number do you see after 0? It is 1. So I am going to write 1 here. And what number do you see in the tens place? I see number 2. So am I going to change this number? No, I am not going to change this number. I am just going to write it as it is. So the number that comes after 2, 0, 20, it is 2, 1, 21. So which number is bigger here? This number, the number 21 is bigger because it comes after 2, 0, 20. Alright, so I hope you understood the concept of before and after. So keep practicing, okay, and then I'm sure you're going to do really well. Alright, see you, bye bye. Alright, so post this, we are going to take one more example, and the number is 2, 9, 29. So what number is this? 2, 9 makes the number 29. Alright, so now what we are going to do? Now we are doing after numbers. So the number that comes after 9, we are going to search here. So the number again that comes after 9, what we are going to put? It is going to be 0, okay? So the number that comes after 9 is again going to be 0 here. This is the only tricky part, okay, which you have to understand. So rest is going to be very easy. So the number that comes before 9, we are going to write it as 0. And the number that comes after 9, okay, here when we are doing tens and ones, we are going to take it as 0. Okay, so now let's do this. So here I am going to write the number 0 in the ones place. And what number? So whenever I am going to make it 0 in the ones place, I am also going to change the number in the tens place as well. Okay, so the number 2, I am going to change it. What number comes after 2? The number that comes after 2, it is number 3, because 3 is bigger than 2. It comes after 2. So the number that comes after 2, 9, 29 is 3, 0, 30. Alright, so let's take one more example here so that you understand this concept. Okay. So let's take the number 2, 3, 9, 39. Okay, so the number is 3, 9, 39. So the number in the ones place is 9. Okay, so if I ask you what number you are going to put after 9 in the ones place, we are going to use the number 0 here. Okay, number 0. And whenever we put 0, we are also going to change the number in the tens place as well. So what number will come after 3? The number that comes after 3, it is 4, because 4 is bigger. After numbers are always bigger. So I am going to put 4 in the tens place. Okay. So the number that comes after 3, 9, 39 is 4, 0, 40. Alright? Thank you.